Hello, and welcome to another Scarlet and Violet Underuse tier shift overview. I'm your host, Typhoon Carter, and this is going to be an interesting month for well, not quite this month, but really the month that's going to follow it. So for those of you who don't know, DLC2, the Indigo Disc, is going to release like a couple days from now. It's supposed to be like December 14th. And this also means a couple things. This means that we're probably going to be getting some tutor moves, we're going to be getting returning pokes, that kind of thing. But first, let's just focus on tier shifts, because that's the first part. I'll get to that later. So with UU, there's actually there's not that many shifts, but they are extremely impactful. For starters, we have Amoonguss and Skeledirge, two very crucial defensive staples in Underuse that actually left UU and they moved up to OU. So Skeledirge was like a crucial unaware wall. It was like the go-to, and Amoonguss was like a decent Meowscarada check and whatnot. Although personally, I was never like the biggest fan of Amoonguss. I think it's like mediocre besides that, and I would prefer Mandibuzz, but that's not really the point. And the one month we actually did get from OU is Ninetales Alola, which means that screens are basically gonna be even more stupid. It was already like kind of dumb with like Grimmsnarl and stuff, but like with Ninetales Alola, like getting one turn of setup on screens, that means that it's gonna be really stupid for hyper offense, and like no Skeledirge to contain things, no Amoonguss. This means that stuff like Iron Hands is gonna pop off. I believe our tier leader, Lily, released a tiering survey that asked the player base's opinion on Iron Hands and Galarian Moltres. Galarian Moltres has been like a staple on screens teams, but also on psychic terrain teams, and generally like the player base has not been particularly fond of those mons. Like Galarian Moltres, even Gen 8, was like kind of this fishy mon that could like have also brute force its way through some matchups with like Fiery Wrath and just like flinching the opponent. Yeah, so there's that. I'm gonna pull up the usage stats real quick. So this month we had a lot of Iron Treads, Tornadus, Farian, Shocks. So like, yeah, none of these are too surprising. Besides Arcanine Hisui, it's a good mon, don't get me wrong, but like it was always one of those mons that was like not easy to fit on teams. So there's that. Treads, I think in UUSD Treads has like even higher usage, but funny thing, speaking of UUSD, so it's kind of hard for me to actually go over some replays, because there was, for those of you who have been living under a rock, there was like a replay database wipe that wiped out all replays from like 2020 up until I guess a couple weeks ago, and we're not sure if those replays can be restored, which is a very devastating thing to happen. But that aside, like, yeah, like it was the last backed up in 2020, so it was like a little head scratching. It's like, really? But that aside though, Iron Treads, yeah, that makes sense. I think I tried using Air Balloon Treads a couple times, because like, it gives you a pseudo ground immune, that kind of thing. That's what I've been preferring. Some people still run lefties, but Tornadus T is like super flexible. Sandy Shocks is kind of an awkward mon. Like, I think on paper it's actually a very good partner with Tornadus, but it's like defensively its type is just so bad. Like, you don't have like a poison immunity, you don't have like, just sometimes it just feels like it doesn't hit hard enough at times, like, because you have stuff like Sizchun, whatever. Like, at least with Iron Treads, like, you can kind of annoy it with stuff like knockoff and whatever, but like Sandy Shocks, you kind of have to Terra to do that. It's also an interesting soft check to Scizor to some degree. Like, you can do a shitload, but you also have stuff like Thunderous Varian, which can be really, really annoying if you're not running something like Terra Blast. Like, if you're running double hazards, when you just mono get walled by Thunderous Varian, which I don't love about Shocks, but But with Skeldurge and especially a Moongus gone, this means that Meowscarada is even more dumb. Like, and just click knock off a bunch of times. I think there was like one UUSD game I played where like my Meowscarada just Terror Dark. It was like choice band. I just clicked knock off like 20 million times and I just like ended up winning the game. Yeah, unfortunately that replay got lost thanks to you know, the whole replay database meltdown thingy. But yeah, so that was a bit unfortunate. Yeah, everything else not too surprising. Iron Hands, people think it might be broken under current meta right now. I have not had too much of a chance to play current UU. It's been very limited, mostly because of UUSD finals, which my team is in. Hopefully we win that, but I don't know if we will, but we'll see.